Brie Golek, Penny Proud, Yasmin Payne, Ty Underwood, and Lamia Beard. All of these women who I have named they're someone's family member, they're someone's sister, they're someone's daughter. They're a part of somebody's life, obviously. All of them were murdered because they were transgender. And already in 2015, there have been so many transgender women murdered because of them being transgender, and the media doesn't cover it because transgender people as a whole are looked down upon by society because people think that what they do is wrong and what they do is against their morals, and because of all of this, it's just terrible that the media does not cover stuff like this. It's terrible. Brie Golek was stabbed by her father. Penny Proud was fatally shot. Yasmin Payne was stabbed. And Ty Underwood was shot. And Lamia Beard was shot. And you may have heard of Leila Alcorn. Was a transgender woman. She killed herself because her parents were so unaccepting of her choice to become transgender. She was trying to transition, and her parents still just used the wrong pronouns, and even after she killed herself, her parents used he and him, and it's terrible. And I know that I don't have kids, obviously, but if my kid told me that, I wouldn't. It's just crazy that people can do that to their own kid. And if I had a kid, I would put their happiness before mine, because it doesn't matter what I think. I could be completely against transgender people, but if I had a kid and they told me that they were transgender, I would be 100% supportive, because that's my kid. You don't not support them because no, that's just terrible. And when I was in 7th grade, I came to the conclusion that I was bisexual. That's what I identified as. And I had a lot of anxiety, and there was so much on my mind all the time, and I was always thinking. And I finally came to the conclusion in January of 2014 that I was gay. I knew it. I was over the phase where you try to hide it in your mind. You just push it to the corner of your mind that you just don't think about it. And I was over that because I knew that I was gay. So after school one day, I drove to my grandma's house, and I sat down with her. Me and my grandma are really close, and I sat down with her and I told her that I was gay. And I was terrified. And if any of you know what it's like to sit down at a table and say, I need to talk to you about something, the longest silence of my life, I just sat there and I couldn't get the words out. All I got out was, and I couldn't. And she knew. And she was like, are you gay? And I said, yes. And I just started crying. And she was supportive. Not because I know that she's not homophobic, but she put my happiness before hers, and she supported me, and I was so glad. And after that, I drove home and I told my mom and my dad separately, and I remember my mom was shocked and my dad was shocked, obviously. But they finally came around, and it just meant so much that I had parents who were supportive of me, because I could not imagine having parents who disowned me or kicked me out of the house. I couldn't handle it. I don't know how some people do. It's terrible. But after I came out as gay, I still felt like I had something weighing me down. There was always something that made me feel off. I never fit into the boy stereotype. At school, when the class gets separated, boys and girls, I would always have to go to the boys' side, and I mean, it's okay to not fit into that, because a lot of gay men don't fit into that either. They just don't. They're not masculine. But it was different. It was like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I was always taught, boys do this, girls do this. And I was always so confused about why it was like that, and why people emphasized that so much. And growing up in the South, it's like 10 times just everything. It's terrible, and it was terrible for me. And finally, one day, I'd been thinking for so long. I would lay in bed for hours and just think about this. And I was depressed, and I had anxiety, and something clicked in my mind. Like, I had a moment where I was just like, oh my God, how did I not know? How? At that time, I started wearing makeup. It wasn't anything crazy, just foundation and stuff, but I started doing more things, like my eyebrows, my eyes, my lips, shaving my legs. I started doing, and something just clicked inside my mind, and I knew, I had always known, I just didn't know the word for it, and I didn't know how to go about it, because I had always been taught that it was bad. I mean, you turn on the TV, Maury, that's a man. It's just, you're always taught that being different like that is a bad thing. And I finally came to the conclusion that I'm transgender. I'm transgender. And when I finally came to that conclusion, I knew that my mind was made up. Not really made up, but I just knew. I knew. And the time that I knew that I was transgender, and I couldn't tell anybody because I felt so bad about it. I felt like everyone would disown me, everyone would stop talking to me, and because you are always taught that people like that, you have this stereotype just like pounded in your head, and people relate transgender people to child molesters and sex workers and these awful, awful, awful things, and it's bad. And during this time that I knew that I was transgender, and I couldn't tell anybody. I had high anxiety, I had self-esteem problems, I had eating disorder, and I was in such a low point in my life that I just remember I watched every single documentary on transgender people, I swear, every single one. And I just remember sitting in my room and crying because these transgender people were talking about how they came out and it was bad because people discriminated them, but then again I would watch some and they would be happy and I would just be mad that they're happy and I'm sitting here. I just felt like I couldn't be happy. And I was so angry just at everything. And anyone around me knows that I was angry for no reason all the time. I had always had problems with my dad, just terrible things. And I remember going to my grandma's house because I had gotten into a fight with my parents or something. And I had it, and she took me to get something to eat, and I remember going back to her house, and she looked at me, and she knew that something was wrong because she could tell that I had been crying, and I just remember her looking at me and saying, "Eric, I need you to tell me what I can do to make you happy, anything." She just wanted to know what it would take to make me happy, and what she could do and what I could do to make myself happy, and I couldn't get the words out. It's terrifying to sit in front of somebody and know that you have to tell them that and not know what their reaction is going to be, but I finally told her, and I just remember both of us crying, and she was overly supportive. I was so happy. She told me that it's going to be a long journey, and I knew that. I know that transgender people as a whole are, like I said, discriminated against and treated unfairly, but it's not something that I would choose. I wouldn't choose to be hated by some people. My grandma talked to my mom about it, and my mom was supportive. And as time went on, I started doing more things, like with makeup, with myself, growing my hair out, wearing more feminine clothes, just really expressing myself more, being more of myself. And I was gaining so much confidence because of the support that I had. If it wasn't for the support of my friends, of my mom, my grandma around me, I wouldn't be here, honestly. And I'm so thankful for all of that. And I started telling my friends, and they were all supportive. I mean, I knew they would be, but and my mom talked to my dad about it, and he was always just iffy about it, and I knew that. And at the time, I was on depression medication, and I was seeing a therapist, and he had mentioned that I need to take my parents to PFLAG meeting, which is Parents and Friends of Lesbian and Gay Transgender or something, but it's a group meeting thing that lesbians, gays, transgender people can go to with their parents and just discuss, like, let the parents talk to each other. And I think that's what helped my dad tremendously. After that, I think that he just realized that more people, not just him, were going through the same thing that he was going through, and he wasn't alone. And things are great now. I'm happy, and I couldn't be more happier with how everything turned out, and it's because of all the support, and I've started telling family members, and I've started changing my profile picture to me now, and with makeup on and nails done, and I'm getting a lot of support, and I couldn't be happier, but this is my way of saying I'm transgender, and I'm happy with the person that I have become, and I have come such a long way, and I'm so proud of myself that it doesn't matter what other people think anymore. If you would have told me a year ago that I would be where I'm at today, I would have laughed in your face. It's amazing, and I'm just so glad that the support that I have. I keep saying that, but it's true, and it's really just confidence is key. It really is, because you have to be confident in yourself for people to take you seriously, for people to understand that you are serious about this, and this is not just a phase. This isn't just me being gay and wearing makeup. I'm transgender, and I am a female. What's between my legs does not define my gender, and I just wish that more people would realize that. People say, you were born a man or a boy, and even if you get the surgery, you'll always be a boy, you can't have children. Think what you want, but judgment and hatefulness is not a Christian trait. But I just hope that people who watch this are inspired to be themselves, and you just have to know your situation to know if it's okay to come out or not. I just hope that I'm an inspiration to somebody. Because there's so many people who have nobody to talk to and no one to turn to with these problems, and they end up killing themselves, and it's terrible. And talk to me, please. I have an Instagram, I have a Tumblr, I have a Twitter, I have a Facebook. I'll leave all of the links in the bio, or not in the bio, the description box, but I just want somebody to talk to me about it if they need somebody to talk to. But what I'm trying to stress is that no matter what people think about me, I know that I'm happy and I'm fine with the person I am. At the end of the day, when I go to sleep, when my head hits the pillow and I lay in the dark and I think about all of the things that I did that day and all of the decisions that I've made, I'm happy with myself. And that's all that matters. Whatever people think of you, whatever people say about you, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with the things that you do, it's completely okay. And I just want people to realize that. And I hope that the people who have found out some new information about me, I hope that you were supportive. I've come a long way, and I'm happy now, and I just want you all to know that. I felt like I should make a video and really explain myself and where I'm coming from, and yeah. But thank you for all of your support, everyone who has supported me so far. I feel so nervous recording this video. It's weird, but thank you for watching this, and hopefully I will make more videos on YouTube if I have anything to make a video about. But until then, bye.